Aldo here. In this video, we're going to go over how to merge layers so that we could copy the contents of your layers onto a new layer. And the reason that we might want to do this is that in this example, I have my panorama, but if you notice in the far corners, there are some invisible pixels. I will show you how to do the manual method of how to be able to fill in an image that has areas that you want to fill in using the content aware fill. In this example, I'm going to hide all of these layers here by just clicking, dragging down. All those layers have disappeared. And if I bring this one, you can see that this layer here has the contents of all the other layers underneath it copied onto this one layer, plus the outer edges has been filled with using the content aware fill. We're going to do this manually. And the reason that we're going over this is that maybe you've already created your panoramas and you have this. Or maybe this is just a nice skill to learn how to do. Either way, we're going to go over it. So in order for us to merge our layers, we have to select what layers we want to use. Notice that when I click on these layers, a couple things happened. One, you notice these little brackets that display around the perimeter of your layer. That happens. This is signifying what part of this layer is selected, but also notice how the highlight of this layer changes to a slightly lighter color. So as I click through these layers, it's showing me what part is selected. Now I could also click on the layer mask. This shows me what part of my image is being selected. Depending on if I have the image layer selected or the layer mask selected, I'm able to do different things. And yes, you are able to edit each one individually. So, but what I want to do right now, I want to select all of these layers. I'm going to select the top one. I'm going to hold down Shift, and now I'm going to click on the bottommost layer. And notice how all of these layers are now selected. What I want to do, we want to merge all of these layers onto a new layer. There are different ways of doing this, and I want to show you the difference. We could go into the File menu. I'm going to go to Layer, and notice at the very bottom, Merge Layers. There's Merge Layers, which is whatever layers you have selected. Merge Visible, whatever layers you have only that we could see, or Flatten Image. Flatten Image will flatten everything down. We do not want to do that at this time. Now, I don't want to go through this method just yet. For example, I'm going to do this and then undo. I'm going to merge layers. I'm going to click on this, and notice what happened. It flattened everything, but all your layers are gone. I do not want to do this method because I want to be able to see your layers as you're submitting your work. So I'm going to go into Edit and select Undo Merge Layers, or you might get used to this on a Mac, Command Z, on a PC, Control Z. This will take me back. Now they're still selected. Now there is the keyboard shortcut Command or Control E, but I do not want you to press that just yet. Instead, I want you to hold down a modifier key. On a Mac, this is Option. On a PC, this is Alt. If we go back to Layers and tell it to merge layers, what happens is that now I can let go of the Alt or Option key. What happens is that it makes a copy of all your layers onto a new layer. So I still have my previous layers. Now if I look at this, I'm going to hide this one that I just created. This is the new one. So let me go ahead and just rename this one. If you double click with the name, I'm going to call this my new merged layer, just so that we know which is the different one. This one right here was a previous one. I'm just going to leave that one as is. And as I hide these layers, you can see these are still our individual layers. But now on this layer, this contains a copy of everything minus the outer edge, the areas that need to be filled in. So I want to do that step. go ahead and do this. If you need to go back in this video, please go ahead and do so.